So, but we need to really look at, trying to maintain order in the chaos. Don't pretend that the chaos doesn't exist, right? We're just trying to keep it flowing through the week so everybody can find what they need and the space can function.
Welcome to Reframe and Reclaim. We are Courtney Huckabee, a psychotherapist,
and Jen Harris, an interior designer, who have teamed up
to reflect,
challenge,
and reframe your mindset in relationship with your personal belongings. Find the reframe.
Start your reclaim.
Welcome back to Reframe and Reclaim. I'm Courtney Huckabee.
And I'm Jen Harris.
And we are talking about the decluttering stages. But the most important thing is, after you do all of that important work, is the last step of reclaim, which is the maintenance stage.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the hardest and the longest, the most time effective as well.
Yes.
And so with that, it's talking about, now that you've decluttered and made your nightstand beautiful and clean, your countertops are pristine, your living room tables are organized, how do we maintain this? What are the systems we put into place for our homes, our routines, or our space, so that we don't have to rehash all the decluttering every single week?
Right? I mean, you look at Pinterest or social media and it's like, set it and forget it, right? All I need are these clear bins and I put stuff in it and it magically stays, right? But
not true.
We all know life's not like that. I know. Where are my little elves that come out at night and cobble my shoes and organize my spaces? No, but yeah, like you were saying, maintaining it is hard, especially when there's multiple people in the home, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the things we have to really level set with our expectations up front is your home is a space. It is going to be used.
You're going to live in it.
It is going to be cluttered. Yeah, we have to acknowledge that there will be chaos, but that isn't,
and dishes
and
laundry,
always dishes and
never ending laundry,
right? So, but we need to really look at, trying to maintain order in the chaos. Don't pretend that the chaos doesn't exist, right? We're just trying to keep it flowing through the week so everybody can find what they need and the space can function.
I think there's a really good analogy that I've talked with some of my clients about this, and they're like, I did it and now I just don't want to do it again. And I'm like, well, you eat breakfast, but don't you eat lunch or dinner too? Or maybe the next day you're eating another meal. And so it's the same thing, as we've got to keep our home healthy and functioning by feeding it or decluttering it or organizing it or attending to it. And that's the same for our self-care too.
Yes. And you'll notice, when things aren't maintained and they kind of go back to their starting position, where it is more cluttered, like, how do you feel? Do you start feeling more stressed and more overwhelmed again? Does the environment not feel as good?
Yes.
So
all of that.
So it sounds like you have experienced that.
I have.
So what kind of habits do you have in order to help maintain some of your spaces?
Some of these systems. I will say, my husband and I both work. We are a, working family. We are not in the blessing yet to, have one of us not working. So I will say Monday through Thursday, because we choose to take Fridays and try to have some family time. We're not doing a whole lot of housework. I may do dishes during that time, as we're eating, meals and cooking meals, but that's about all of the housework that gets done. And then Thursday evening is usually when I start the laundry, because we have gone through the whole week. We're doing pajamas for our kid and play clothes and work clothes and, lounge clothes. And so a lot of clothes have piled up. But I know Thursday is the start of my time with family. Also, the attention starts with my home too. So I start laundry Thursday evenings, and that's kind of my start place of, now let's attend to home because I'm going to be at home. What about you? Do you have any systems or things that help you maintain your home on a daily or weekly space?
So one of the weekly things we do, our Thursday's kind of our reset day, or like trying to get ahead of the weekend, getting ready for it. So that's usually the day that my sons clean the bathrooms.
I love that.
So we do have where they have to get a certain chore done each day of the week before they get their screen time. And sometimes it's as simple as like putting away your laundry or watering the plants. And some days it's more intense, like you need to clean your bookcase or you need to clean the bathrooms. So, and they know it'll vary from day to day, but that's kind of our weekly to try and get ready. So that way on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because my husband works 4 10s, we have those 3-day weekends. We can really focus on family time because we don't see him a
Mhm.
lot Monday through
It's
Thursday
working a
because
lot.
he's working a lot. Yeah. So
Well, and your children, I mean, they're still elementary age
there's, yeah, 7 and 9.
and they are cleaning the
Hmm.
bathroom. So I have a question because a lot of
Yes.
parents that I work with say, if my kid were to do this or to do that, they wouldn't do it right, or I'd have to
Hmm.
come behind them. How is that for you with expecting them to clean and the accountability?
So I dealt with that a lot. And I still have to sometimes go back and say, hey, there's still toothpaste on the countertop. Like, is this clean? So I do still have to go back and double check. But because we've consistently done it and they know the expectations, we have a lot less of that. They love cleaning the toilet, which I love.
I I love they love
I
that. That is
know,
not my favorite thing
right?
to clean at
Um,
all.
and I still help with like the showers. They can't reach some of the areas, but like countertops, toilets, floors, they take care of that. Something else we do with like making their beds to level set the expectations. This is my husband's idea. We took pictures of the
A
beds when they were
visual.
made and they're hung up. It doesn't look the most aesthetically pleasing because there's a picture of a bed next to a bed, but functionality wise, it saves me a ton of time from having to do anything with their beds or come back in and check and say, is this done
Look at the
correctly?
picture. Do they
Exactly.
match? And I will
Hmm.
say, as a parent educator in my mental health practice, making time for training is so
Yes.
important. Yes, it's going to take a little extra time in the beginning to show them how to wipe up the toothpaste or how to pull their sheets or
Hmm.
blankets all the way up to the top or tuck things in. But the hope is with that training in the beginning and that accountability
Right.
and the expectations, you're saying these magical words, your kids will be contributing to the housework and
Yes.
learning those life skills too.
Now, I will say they are children and will push boundaries at times. So there will be times they're like, this is clean.
I
And it's
push
like,
boundaries sometimes.
and it's like, no, let's look at this again. So there is some, kind of back and forth, but overall it's worked out well. And so we do, again, those on like the week or yeah, the weekly basis, but like on a daily basis, they also have certain chores. So after dinner is kind of our daily routine to get the house back in order. So
Kind of like the
after dinner,
night cap of
yeah,
the
I
day, like
like
the
that.
nightcap of the home, like home
Yes.
is ready for tomorrow.
So throughout the day, not if kids are playing with toys, but if I see something that's out of place, like a book, like I know that goes in their bedroom, we have a pony wall, which is going to be torn down at some point, but right now it has a function. And this is where we have decided as a family that this is where random items that have ended up all over the house go. I have done baskets in the past, and that does work as well. But I have found with my kids, they're like, oh, I don't see my item on top. I'm not digging through to find my items. And they're like, I did that already. So we've put this pony wall. It's a flat surface. I will put items, whether it's theirs or my husband's or mine, that I know need to go in another room that I can't get to right away. Put them on the pony wall. At the end of the night after dinner, everybody puts their dishes in the sink. One parent is doing dishes. The kids are cleaning off the table and sweeping and getting rid of the crumbs. And then the other parent is either doing laundry or putting away the dried dishes that were sitting out to dry. So there's always some sort of
It's a
contribution.
family team effort,
Yes.
though. I love that.
And then the rule is before you go to bed, check the pony wall for any of your items and take those where they belong. And it honestly takes 3 to 5 minutes for them to clear off the pony wall. And then all those randomly scattered items that were across, a 2,000 square foot home are centralized and they can quickly grab it and go. Now, is that a little more work on my part to gather these items? Sometimes, but normally it's as I'm walking by and I'm like, oh, that doesn't go there. And I just grab it and go. So I don't see it as a burden on me or extra time that I am taking to do this step.
And instead of having visual clutter scattered out throughout your home, it's this one designated
Yes.
space that will gather some items that don't belong. And at the end of the day, it sounds like
Mhm.
that top surface should be cleared out.
Yes. And the beauty with this spot, why we designated the pony wall, is because There's other areas where we drop mail or we drop keys or the kids drop their backpacks, and everything just kind of gets lost if it's there. But this space is not designated for anything in particular. So that
That's
is
really
its
great.
function. So you could also use like the hearth of your fireplace, you could use a table that's just a display table, or find a place that works. So,
I love it. And actually, talking about like there's a place for things, like another system that my husband does is he takes the trash out once a week to the curb, and we
mm.
only check our mail when he only checks the mail because I don't check the mail. A lot of things are email and digital anyway now, but he will bring the mail to the kitchen counter and I see it, and then I will sort out what's his and mine. I will put his mail in his office. So he's doing one part to bring it into the home. I do the sorting. I put mine where it belongs. I put his in his space so he can open it, get to it when he's ready for it.
Hmm.
But it's not taking up the counter space where I need it to be clean to cook or do dishes or just want
Yes.
nothing on it because it helps me feel better.
Yes. Something else we do with dishes, I'm sure everybody has their own, but like the way our counter is set up, um, we wash and then the dishes, clean dishes go on the left side of the sink. And so there's this rule where if it's dirty, do not set it anywhere on the left side of the sink because I'm not going to know, is it
Mhm.
clean? Is it dirty? Where does this go? All dirty goes on the right side. So there's this one-way motion of dishes. So no one
I
gets
like that.
confused. So if
Yeah.
we run out of space in the sink or if there's extra big, pots and pans.
And for my home, we usually put the dirty dishes on the left side of the sink. There's the garbage disposal, their food disposal on the other side of the sink. And that way, if I have to like dump food out
Mm-hmm.
or clean things out, then that holds the dirty dishes until the dishwasher is ready to be filled or until I can come through and
Yes.
hand wash those things. So again, and I didn't even think it was a system, but it
Yeah.
is. It's a simple like,
Yes.
but the system only works if you're
Everybody knows.
communicating
Yep.
that with everyone, like the pony wall, or if your children are seeing you and your husband also contributing to the nighttime routine to reset the house, then they want to maybe be a little more motivated to
Right.
contribute as well. I won't say they want to do it too, but they may be more motivated when we're role modeling that for our
Yeah. And like a
kids.
lot of times we'll put on music or do something fun. So that way it's, kind of playful as we do it.
Yeah.
I will say an example of a time when my husband and I weren't on the same page with maintaining is he likes to reuse his glass throughout the day. To me, if I see a glass sitting out, I'm going to go put it in the sink or put it with the dirty dishes because to me it's dirty. And so he would come out and he's like, "Where's my glass? Where's my glass?" I'm like, "It's dirty. It's in the sink." But so we have a designated spot for him. So if he is using a
Oh,
glass and he's like, "I want to keep using this glass," it's on this part of the countertop, and I know that
but
is
it's
still
been
being used.
communicated.
Yes.
I don't want to dirty another glass. I have
Yes.
this glass. This is my favorite glass or whatever.
Right.
It's perfect for my beverages, but make sure it's not in the space that Jen needs to clean up or put on the pony wall
Yes.
or the sink.
Yes.
I like that. I will say I have a younger son, so he's in preschool right now. We're teaching him how to organize, and he just got into Legos. And I realized I
Mm.
hadn't done the training with him. And so we recently kind of changed his room a little bit. We now have a Lego shelf instead of a bookshelf in his room. It's a
Cute.
bigger boy room. He loves playing in his room more, so he's not playing in all the other common areas as much. But I had to show him like all of your Lego booklets with instructions go here in this
Mm.
basket. All of your Lego pieces that are not put together, they're extra pieces, can go here in this bin. All of your masterpieces, I love that he uses that, my
I
masterpiece.
love it.
All of
It's
his
so cute.
masterpieces are displayed so he can see them and other people can see them. So he knows booklets and instructions are here, extra pieces are there. I was like, yeah, that's how you do it. But my 4-year old, almost 5-year old, doesn't know that skill yet. And
Right.
so, me saying it out loud, me showing it to him, me expecting him to help me in the cleaning up of his Legos, my hope is his booklets will stay booklets, his pieces won't be
Hmm.
in the floor. He'll have his display. And then it just took me maybe 3 minutes to explain that to him rather than saying, look, I made this system for you. He's like, "What? It's just all
Right.
my
So
Legos
they
on the shelf. The
right.
Legos go on the shelf or near the shelf." So I think those are really great reminders, to let your children be involved.
Yes. And then also with kids too, you have to think of, if you're looking for systems for them, what's easy for them. Like if they have to put something away and they have to take a lid off a bin and then put something in here and then put it back on, they're not going to do it.
Too many steps
Too
involved.
many steps, not going to do it.
Yes.
So you want to have like, maybe it's a basket, right? And they can just throw it in and go. Like all their stuffies just go in this big basket. Like what makes it easy for them to achieve? And that will make your life so much easier.
And reachable. I will
Yes.
say for my son's closet, we have the extended bars that come down lower, so that I will say, go and pick out your clothes. You're old enough to choose your clothes. And I'm not a picky mom. He doesn't have to wear a collared shirt to school. He doesn't have to wear, matching clothes, but he actually does match quite a bit. And so he can have a choice in what he chooses. He may say, what's the weather? We'll look at the weather app for the next day.
cute.
It's really fun. And he can start making those critical thinking skills. I mean, instead of saying, oh, it's cold outside, you need to wear pants, instead of, let's look at the weather. What do you think you want to wear? That can help him with that, autonomy, that be able to express himself appropriately. And then one less thing that I have to go and pick out all of his clothes.
Well, I love that too, because then he's seeing the weather. So throughout the day, if he's like, oh, I'm cold, I know it was this temperature today. Maybe next time I see that, I'll dress warmer. So I think that's a great learning tool for him.
Yeah. Lessons learned.
Yes.
I think, some of the lessons I've learned, you said you had a system, you didn't have a system, you created a system, or where you weren't on the same page. I will say I have created less clutter and stuff in my living room, especially. Before, I used to love decorating everything, and all of the different counters or shelves had trinkets on it. When I was single, when I didn't have a shared home. And now that I have a husband and a child, that we all have all of our things in there, I feel less chaotic and more grounded whenever there's fewer things on the mantle, there's less toys in the living area. We have a corner for some module cushions that my son can do some like building of forts or whatever. But other than that, it's literally our living room furniture and TV. There's not a whole lot of extra stuff, and that is great because there's less for me to pick up in the living room. I really have to focus more on the kitchen that gets, the dishes and the things, the playroom that's separate, all of his toys go there mostly, and then the other spaces. So that's one area I don't have to do as much cleaning in, which is so nice.
I think you bring up a really good point. So for me, my like clutter tolerance and visual clutter tolerance, distress tolerance, that's the word you always use.
Yes.
My distress tolerance was much higher when I was single and living alone, because I knew where everything was and I knew where things went.
Yes.
But as soon as like you had kids in there and a husband and people who think differently,
Yes.
my distress tolerance became so much lower. Like it was amazing to me to see like how much more my environment was really affecting me, because it's like, what is this random thing? Why is this here? And whose is this? And now it's like, oh, that's probably how the kids feel too. It's like, what is this thing? And why is this picture here? This decoration? So, which is why when the one time years ago, I like totally cleared off my kitchen counter that was really cluttered. When he was 7 at the time, he was like, did you redo the kitchen? It's like, nope, I just cleaned the counter. Like
it
really
impacts,
seeing how
the clutter doesn't just impact us, it impacts our children too. And if my son's playroom has toys scattered out all over the floor because it's been Monday through Thursday and we're not cleaning the playroom, he moves to a different area to play. He doesn't want to play in there because it's too overwhelming. There's no space to play. So as soon as I clean up the playroom, he's like, I'm going to play in there. So it is a double-edged sword, but that just is really good proof to me and evidence that we want that to be his playroom. We need to be better at creating a system that his playroom is picked up more regularly, so he will use that space instead of going into another space to, string his toys everywhere.
So again, this week we're discussing, that's the systems, the maintenance, to really put all of this hard work you've done decluttering, keep that momentum going and keep the space functioning for your current life chapter. So if you have found this helpful, please share it with someone that you think it will benefit. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Pick up our book, Reframe and Reclaim, if you haven't, and follow us on social media for more tips and tricks.